Hello Dualoop team. In this video, I will walk you through the design process in creating this concept, Scan&Go, to answer your challenge on the self-scan app. So the first thing I did was looking a bit into existing systems in the market. And to me, this seems kind of a matured solution. There are already a couple of options. Already multiple supermarkets are already using. And to me, the main systems that I found was the physical systems. So these self-scans devices that are already present in multiple supermarkets, and also the normal app, which is the main intent of this exercise. So, but looking a bit into the self-scan, I took a look a bit on their interfaces, how they work, what elements they provide, a little bit on the flow of using them, and also this detail that usually the physical self-scan devices have, which is the support on the shopping cart. So that was a bit the research on these devices. And then I also took a look in multiple apps that exist in the market and also some concepts by several designers. And they all kind of share a bit similar interfaces. And my approach was basically just seeing the best solutions existing, taking the best approach, gathering a few options from one concept to another, and creating my own version of this. Um, some things that I noticed is a few of them, besides the main self-scanning system with a camera pointing to the code bar. They also have a few, the idea of having a list, so a type of digital list integrated within the app, which I also find quite interesting. So I also wanted to have this besides just a normal scan. So this was a bit of an overview of the research. You can then also take a look after by seeing the Figma file, which contains all these details. And while I was researching, I started thinking, instead of creating something from a fictional brand, I wanted to have a bit more grounded work. So basically having already some brand guidelines to also speed up the process, some colors, some fonts, so I could create more quickly the app. And I stumbled upon the Albertine app, and I decided to just do my own version. So basically taking your challenge and then adding to a real company that exists, which in the end, this is actually the design work more commonly. You usually are constrained with a couple of guidelines. You need to deal already with an existing design system or some design language. So that was my approach. Um, so another thing that I had to also figure out was some design system for the app itself. I decided to go with iOS as the system for the app. And with this, I needed some quick kit to mock up the concept. So basically, I took the iOS design language from Apple, and I found some kit that had a lot of elements that would be useful for me to use on the mockups. That's usually how I approach my design, is usually already having a good knowledge on the design system that I'm working for, either Android or Apple. And yeah, basically customizing a bit that to our own brand guideline, and then going from there, creating the multiple screens. The other thing, obviously, was the branding from Albertine. I tried to find online multiple sources if I could see if they had online any branding, but unfortunately I didn't really find any PDF with the guidelines. So I just took a look a bit in their supports that they have, the website, the bonus card that they have, the branding overall from their shops, also taking a look on their app that they already have, and taking some inspiration from some design elements, some color schemes. So yeah, that was the other detail that I had to gather to start the project. Also, the font that they are using, this seems to be a specific font from Albert Heijn, Hamburg. So I used multiple sizes and multiple weights of this font across the app. And also here are the basic color scheme that I used for creating most of the elements in the app. Um, Also, something that I started realizing when looking into some of these existing apps is that they have this issue which doesn't happen on the self-scan physical device, which is having always your phone in your hand and then needing to have the device, I mean the product on the other hand, and you are also pushing your cart while you are shopping. So this becomes kind of a pain point. So I started thinking, how could we solve this problem? And my idea was to indeed look at the existing solution on the physical device, which has a holder on the cart. And with this holder, the user could be always having the hands free. He has a place to to use the smartphone, and doesn't need to carry. And instead of taking the smartphone and pointing to the products, the user can instead just scan the product, either using the front camera or the backward side of the cameras, and this way the system is always listening visually to the barcodes. So this would be my solution. I can also show you here a bit how it looks in 3D. So I just came up quickly with this support that could be integrated to the shopping carts. This is how it looks. This obviously had to be uh, designed more in detail to fit multiple models, but the general idea would be something like this, with the cameras visible, so the user can keep using the cart, can keep doing his shopping, and you will just pass the products in front of the camera and the system will recognize. So as you can see here, some of the screenshots that you can also then later see on the Figma. Here is a bit of an example of a product being scanned in the back camera. So the user can scan and then immediately can put the product inside of the cart. And also here an example of the product being scanned in the front facing camera. And here just the final step, which is basically putting the product inside of the cart. So I feel this probably will help to alleviate a bit this pain point, because I already also used lists in shopping, not so much self-scanning apps, but lists I do use. And I always found a bit of an hassle where to store my phone. Should I put it in my pocket, always pocket and back again in my hand? So this to me would be solvable with this solution. Moving on, so I started doing the low fidelity screens, and these are the main ones. So I started with the basic flow. So we would have the splash screen where the app is loading. Then we would have some onboarding. I will not go too much in detail on these, but basically you can then after see they are all linked with the flow and how they connect. But basically they would have an onboarding screen where the user would understand how it works. I wanted to have it like in 3 steps. Then we would go after the onboarding to the login screen. Multiple options. I didn't develop all of them, but I found the more interesting one is to log in with the bonus card, which is an element that a lot of users might already have. So this would be the easiest way. So basically, this would be almost like a tutorial how to scan objects on the app. We would have these following screens with the system detecting the barcode from the user and then immediately jumping straight into the app so the user is already logged in. This would be the home page. I also didn't develop too much this because I feel the scope of this challenge was more around the scanning and other features around the scanning. But basically, this would probably mimic some of those existing home pages on these multiple apps from other supermarkets. And I took the inspiration from the one from Albert Heijn. So basically, we would have some promotions. Also, something that I included here specific to this concept is also having this call to action, quick shortcut for the scanning main feature. Would be also kind of in a more proeminent way in the homepage. Then moving on, we would have the list. So this would be the feature where the user can add products, and while he's shopping, he can see what products he selected beforehand, either at home or on the go to the supermarket. The system would autocomplete with existing products on their database, and then they would immediately appear on the shopping list. Moving on, the other main feature is obviously the scanning part. So these would be the screens for the scanning. I also found important to have always on available the shopping list and the cart. So the user, besides having the viewport for the products scanning, he also has always this kind of quick access, this drawer type of interface where the user can toggle between these two elements, the shopping list and the cart, and then he can consult while roaming around with a shopping cart, their shopping list, and while he's scanning products, he can also see what's in the cart. So this is a type of shortcut view of both of these options. And this is a bit of the flow that I started creating. So the viewport basically has this idea of a scanner frame, and then the scanner automatically will adjust to the barcode a little bit like iOS is doing already with some of their recognition stuff on the camera. So that's that. Also, some detail that I found important, because the whole concept for this app is that the app is always listening for visual barcodes, so it's always looking into these barcodes. We also need some feature that kind of saves the battery of the phone. So this would happen after a while that the user is not scanning anything. The app goes into this idle mode, and then the user needs to tap back on the screen so that the screen comes up again and you can continue scanning. And then another couple of more screens. This one is the cart. The user can also edit the cart by sliding, deleting the product also by removing 1 unit when the product is just 1 unit, so it becomes 0. So you will basically be deleting, or also, like I mentioned, swiping and having the delete. Then we have the cart and the payment flow. So this is the full screen of the cart. We can see the total. We can see all the products that are eventually added to the cart. And then we can also start from here to do the checkout. So this is basically the screen similar to the cart, but with added payment options. So the user can finally pay, and then jumping into the payment system that it chooses. The confirmation, this one is from iOS to confirm with Apple Pay. And then finally the receipt. So this receipt basically is the one that will, besides showing the amount and the products that can be scrolled through on the list, can also be the one that the user needs to show at the exit, on the gate of the exit, so that he can leave, and basically the shop knows that this person paid. So this is a confirmation. Also, something that should be mentioned is probably these systems need to have some type of audit, frequent audits, randomized throughout the day, so that this can be controlled. Some shop personnel can go to the customer and check probably the more expensive products to see if they were actually registered, and also if they are in the bag and also registered. So that's basically the cart and payment. And then finally, just the profile. I also didn't took too much forward these screens. This is probably easy, more granular settings and smaller things from the profile, but probably is needed this screen. I guess the main one that I would say important for this concept is that the user needs to see their receipts from the past and even from the day itself, so that he can go back and open the gate at the exit or at home, see different receipts from the past, and check the products and the prices, some information. So this is the low fidelity, and then the high fidelity goes already a little bit more forward in terms of advancing the concept. So basically, I created an app icon. I tried to create something still with the branding of Albert Heijn, and also with this kind of scanning type of icon. So I kind of combined the two, kind of giving the idea of a Albert Heijn branded scanner app. Then we have the splash screen with a similar logo. Here we see the onboarding. So I also added some animations that you will see after on the interactive prototype. But basically, again, the 3 steps. So first the user needs to scan the products, then the user needs to pay online, and then the user, after presenting the QR code with the digital receipt at the exit, then the user can go. So kind of giving this idea of fast solution, in and out quickly from the shop. Then the login screen, again, with the multiple options. I didn't, again, develop all the other ones, but these are kind of straightforward screens, a bit time consuming. So I just basically developed the one that I found more interesting to this exercise. And here you can see it already a little bit more in color and with all the details of the more iconography to help a bit understand the text, the copy of the content. The main page, I also already kind of talked about it. So seeing some of the promotions that exist. These promotions, the user can add straight to their list. So if they click on this add icon, they will immediately have it on their list. So this is a way of getting users to buy some products that are in promotion, etc. And again, like I mentioned before, the start scanning button that basically serves as a kind of quick shortcut for the main feature of the app. And again, the shopping list, as we've seen before. Something that I can mention is that I tried to make the shopping list with a little bit of skeuomorphic element of paper. So I sometimes find that these elements can also have some help in the familiarity of the feature. Users understand that this is like an old type of list that where users would write down their shopping list like a post-it texture. So, and also at the same time, I wanted to distinguish properly the shopping list from the cart, and you will see why in a bit. Again, the flow, empty, adding a product, the product appears on the list. Some of the different features that we can use within the list is basically resetting the list. So if we are already with multiple products bought and we want to rebuy them again, which is something quite common, people have a same list of products for multiple visits to the shop, so they can just reset, all the checkboxes become empty, and they are again with the list again to be used in the shop. Also, something interesting is to group objects, products from category. So the user is in different sections on the shop and he can see them by category. So it's easier to pick up multiple products within the same section, saving the list so the user can reutilize the list later, and erasing completely the list, and deleting items so the user can delete multiple items instead of going one by one, swiping and deleting. So that's the main screens for the shopping list. Now we are back into the scanner. So now we see it already more in color, with some iconography to also help the user understand that he needs to place the products in front of the camera. Again, here showing how to swipe the list up to see completely the whole list of products. We also have this number that shows the number of products that are still on the list and that haven't been scratched off from the list. And this is the cart. Obviously, there wasn't still any product scanned, so this is empty. And then this is the flow of a first product being scanned. So the user places the bottle of cola in front. The system recognizes the code bar, some visual indication that this code bar is isolated and recognized by the system, and jumps straight into the cart. One thing that we can also see is that the system ideally is dynamic, and it recognizes that the cola was selected in the cart, so we can actually scratch it off from the shopping list. So this is, instead of the user being manually scratching off the items from the list, the system also does it automatically. So ideally, the user will end with a 0-item shopping list and a 3-item, in this case, in the cart. So that's the process. Like I mentioned, the scanner that goes into this saving battery mode. Another screen showing the shopping cart full and the shopping list empty. So as I mentioned, here again, swiping up to show the whole list and proceeding to checkout. Finally, still some of the screens that I've shown on the low fidelity, how to delete an item with either the minus button or swiping to the left, and then revealing the delete option, which is usually the standard for iOS, and also you see nowadays in Android. Then the cart, again, empty cart, similar as we've seen on the scanning, but here with the more details, with the total and the discounts. Here the cart with all the products already inside. The user moving to checkout. Here you can select the payment system, the screen from the actual payment system, and then the receipt in detail. Again, a similar idea as the list, with this background looking a bit like a real receipt in paper. Again, some small detail that helps the user understand what's this digitally in real life similarity. Something that I forgot to mention, but again, in this screen, I found that sometimes they were a little bit too similar, the shopping list and the cart, as you can see here. So this is the cart and the other one was the shopping list. And in order to distinguish them more properly so the user doesn't mistake which page is on, that's why I came with this idea of having the paper texture. So it's easily distinguishable within these two minified versions of the shopping list and the cart within the scanner. And then just to end the profile screen, which again I said I didn't develop too much in detail, probably some small settings that could exist. These were the ones that I came up with. Account settings, a way to change my details, my address at home, my photo, etc. The receipt, which is probably the most important one. Rewards and loyalty, I guess, related to the bonus card, which can also make some sense within the screen. Some general settings of the app, can be multiple settings, and then just some support for some guidance on how to use the app. So this would be a whole walkthrough, extra material, or some FAQ section that could explain multiple things within the app and this system of self-scan. And then finally, the obvious logout, which probably needs to exist so the user can log out from their account. So these were basically the high fidelity and low fidelity concepts. And then just the final one is the interactive prototype, which actually shows all this in motion. I will just show you a bit all the connections between all the screens, the multiple interactions that exist, but you can try this interactive prototype also within this file. This is also here mentioned. You can just click here and you can immediately try. This is a bit scripted prototype because this is highly cumulative action. So you add products, the number of the price goes up, it's adding up, so you can't really jump back. It's basically a continuous line of interactive prototype until you reach the end, which is the goal of basically going into the receipt and finalizing the whole process. So I will just show the interactive prototype. So we are now in this home page of the iPhone iOS with this lovely background. This is the screen with the icon from the app. So this is how it looks. These are the main screens with the onboarding. You can scroll them back. Some animations to show the features and how it works, the app. And then finally, the last one. So then we can start. We are on the login. I will do with the bonus card. So this is our view port of the camera to scan. And we have here something that explains how to use it. So let's use our card. The system recognizes and we are immediately logged in. So it has my name, it recognized my card. So here we can see, like I mentioned, the promotions. We have the list, which is empty for now. We have the scanner with the two different views. And then we have the card profile. So let's start by adding some products to the list. So I will go here into the search bar and I want a cola. So cola, I will select the product and the product that's added to the shopping list. Let's add another product. I need Aggies for my baby. So Aggies, okay. And then I saw also on the home page that there was a nice promotion on Ajax glass cleaner. So I will also add this one to the list. And as you see, it was added to the list. So now we have 3 items. So now we basically can start scanning. So I'm now at the shop and I placed the app on the support and I will start scanning products. So as you can see also here, you have the shopping list. We have the 3 products that were selected the Aggies, the Ajax, and the Cola. We have 2x Ajax because there was a promotion, 1 + 1 free, so the system automatically adds 2 items. So I will add the first product. There we go. I'm scanning, detecting, and it's added to the cart. Now we can proceed to another product. So here we can see the product in the cart. And just to show you the pause feature, saving battery, we can also see it like this. So I tap to continue. So now I will utilize the camera in the back and I will scan the product, the Huggies. Voila, it's scanned. Now we can see it here, the new updated amount, but we still need to continue. So back to the front camera, and I'm showing the last product to the camera, detected, and voila. We have 0 items on the shopping list and we have 3 items in the cart. Just to show you a bit how it looks, how to edit products, if we tap on the minus on the item number, we can delete, we will cancel. We can also increase. We actually need to increase because we want to use the promotion. So that's how we, instead of scanning 2 times the same product, we can just utilize here the plus button and it's all done. So we can actually proceed to checkout. Checkout shows the screen with all the items, our promotions, the VAT value, and the total amount, and obviously all the different options to pay. So we will select Apple Pay. We use the phone to pay, and voila, we have the receipt, and we can present this at the casa, at the exit, and we can leave the store. And that's the whole flow. If we click done, we are back to home. So basically, these were the main elements that I created for the concept. If you have any other questions, you can contact me and I'm happy to answer any doubts or questions. Bye bye.